With the first pick in the 2024 NBA Draft, the Atlanta Hawks select Zachary Rizache.
So the first round of the draft has been completed, and as of recording this, the second round is going on. To begin this video, I'm just going to recap the top 5 picks. The first overall pick was Zachary Rizache, who is going to Atlanta. Me personally, I think Alex Sarr is the better prospect, but they both have great potential. Rizache is a 6'10 wing who can shoot really well from the 3-point line and can defend pretty much any position. He also knows his weaknesses and wants to work on them to get better. Alex Sarr is a 7'1 power forward or center. He is lengthy and is already an excellent defender, and I think now that he's been drafted to Washington, he'll be able to work on things such as his 3-point shot to get better at it. The third pick, Reed Sheppard, who is going to Houston, is an athletic guard who can play make. He's one of the best, if not the best in this draft class at shooting, and he's going to the Houston team who could potentially be trading for KD. That trade could potentially send Fred VanVleet to the Suns. If you want to see that trade in more depth, go check out the Mikal Bridges video I made the other day. Link will be in the description. The fourth pick was Stephen Castle, drafted to the Spurs. Is one of my favorite players in this draft class. He is the best guard defender in this draft class. He's an excellent playmaker who could set up Wemby and is good at getting to the paint. He does need to work on his shot. The mechanics are there. He just needs some more consistency. The fifth pick in the draft was Ron Holland, going to Detroit. Initially, I didn't like this pick from them. He is a great player and was probably the best available, but Detroit needs shooting. I would have taken Tijan Salan here, who is a confident 3-point shooter and will likely get better. With this pick, they just got another Asar Thompson, a great defender and inside scorer, but not much of a shot. Alright, that's the top 5 picks. Now I'm going to say the 3 players in this draft with the most all-star potential. First, Alex Sarr. Going to this Washington team, who's on the first year of their rebuild, we will more than likely see him starting for this team. He's got great potential. He's already a great defender, he's a good ball-handling big, and has shot-making potential. He will want to fill out his frame a little more to compete with the big men of the NBA, because as of right now, he struggles to finish through contact. I think Sarr will be an all-star, but I'd put money on him making all defensive teams and potentially being a depoy. Anyway, next I've got Rizache, the first pick. I think he'll more likely be an all-star if Atlanta moves on from Trey and DeJounte. Because he has great defensive potential, scoring potential, he pretty much has potential for every aspect of his game. Even if he's not an all-star, he'll probably be starting for a team because he's a 6'10 dude who can defend and shoot the 3. I feel like the only way he's not an all-star is if he has bad work ethic or if he can't overtake Trey or DeJounte. My final potential all-star is Stephon Castle. Him playing with Wemby will probably see assists be high and in his prime could be potentially averaging 10 assists. He's an amazing defender, and we're probably going to see the Spurs be the number 1 defensive team with him guarding the perimeter and Wemby in the key. He has shot-making potential, it's just something he needs to work on, and we could see him potentially being Wemby's number 2 for many years. Now onto the busts, and I'll be honest, I only have 2, and I honestly don't think they'll be busts. First one, Zach Edey. It's not necessarily his game that I have an issue with, he's a great big man. He is a little slow though, and playing alongside Ja, it could be tough for him to keep up. I don't think that's why he could be a bust though. I think because he's 7'4", injuries could end his career. Next is Rob Dillingham, only because if his game doesn't translate to the NBA, only being 6'1" and not being able to defend that well, we could see him out of the league if he doesn't reach his full offensive potential. Anyway, on to my sleepers. My first sleeper is Jacoby Walter. I love his 3-point shot. He does have some things he needs to work on, such as scoring against tougher defenders, but I think he has great potential, and I think he's going to fulfill that potential over in Toronto. I hope he gets good minutes. I think he's going to be better than Grady Dick, so they need to play my man. My next sleeper is AJ Johnson. Bro was so slept on, he was sitting in the crowd when he got drafted. He was drafted 23rd to the Bucks, only averaging 3 points in the NBL. That's the problem with being a Knicks star. They don't have to play you big minutes. If AJ had have gone down the college route, I think he would have been a lottery pick. I think he might play his first season in the G League, but by his 5th season, I think we'll be seeing him starting for a team, whether that's the Bucks or somewhere else. The numbers don't show my man's skill. He was barely getting played, so I think he's going to surprise everyone next season. Next, I have Isaiah Collier as my final sleeper. This dude getting taken at 29th is insane. I was expecting the Suns to take him, get a good point guard with good potential, but they slept on him. Him falling to the Jazz will probably see him coming off the bench for Keontae. The Jazz got very lucky to land him. His shot isn't exactly the best, only taking 3 threes a game and averaging 33.8% from 3, but he has potential to be an excellent playmaker, and he can get to the rim with ease. 3 months ago, every mock draft had him as a lottery pick, seeing him as one of the best point guards in the draft, but then he had an injury, damaging his draft stock. He played 27 games and averaged 16 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists on 49% from the field. Those are stats that I'd be thinking would be for a player in the top 20. I think the teams are going to regret not drafting him earlier. For example, the Suns. They're going to see him averaging 16 points and 7 assists and be like, man, we messed up. I will admit one thing. He's a bit of a turnover machine, averaging 3.3 turnovers in college. But Caitlin Clark's averaging like 5 and everyone still loves her. Anyway, there's my potential all-stars, busts, and sleepers. If you want to see me talk about the Mikal Bridges trade, watch the video coming up on the screen.